I'm not ready anymore.
No. Just stand by. This one just didn't work. This is why we edit the show.
Oh, you edit the show.
Hello, welcome to Hat Trick. I am Jordan Dowler-Coltman. I am joined by my brother, Braydon Dowler-Coltman, and we have a very special surprise guest. Braydon doesn't know who's coming on the show. Do you have any guesses, Braydon, who our guest this week might be? A big sports fan, someone with deep-rooted knowledge and everything we always talk about?
Well, I like to surround myself with people who also carry that same passion. I mean, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea who's coming. I'm very excited. I hope they're as excited as I am.
All right. Well, our special guest this week is joining us right now. It is our father, Greg Dowler-Coltman. We have three. We have three Dowler-Coltmans on one show. What could go wrong? Welcome to the show. How are you, Dad?
Thanks. I'm great. Good to see you guys.
We were joking that just before I was teasing Braydon, I said, the guy coming on, he's a deep-seated, rooted sports fan. He knows so much more than either of us, and I mean, I was completely making that up, but
thanks.
But your well of knowledge certainly at least is deeper. It goes further back. But I think you stopped watching sports actively 30 years ago.
No, I don't think so. I think I could probably date it back to a conversation that we had with you, in which you convinced myself and my mother that no one paid
Not
for
your mother,
cable
my mother,
services.
my mother.
Your
my
mother. Yeah, your mother. So no one pays for cable services anymore, and therefore
don't have access.
And I don't have access to anything.
But you've got Google. You keep up with the scores. You know what's going on.
Keep up with the scores. Yeah.
So are you excited? Are you ready to do this? You know how the show works. Have you ever listened to the show, Dad?
I listen religiously every morning after an episode breaks.
Is it because we don't call you enough?
No, it's just because I love to hear you play.
All right, here we go. We'll get right to it. This is topic one. Okay, so this week we're going to start by talking about one of the more sort of constantly shifting and changing stories that we've had in a while. We've talked about it recently. We talked, I think, about it last week. We're going to talk about it one more time because now we're sort of at the next step in it. We're talking obviously about the Vancouver Canucks, who have suffered almost a month-long layoff because of a full team infection of COVID. It just ripped through the entire team. It's obviously one of these variants that we're all hearing about now in the news. It's very serious from that perspective, but it's also obviously completely upended the NHL season. Schedule-wise, I shouldn't say the whole NHL, just the North Division, because that's how it's structured. But they played their first game back tonight, and they actually won in overtime against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is great for anyone who's cheering for a team that's chasing the Maple Leafs. But I think when we talk about it from an ethics perspective, or we just think what in a couple months from now we will look back at and reflect on, I guess the question is this: has the NHL handled this in the best possible way, or are we just in a world where we have to accept that, businesses are going to start to make decisions based on the bottom dollar, and unfortunately, sometimes those decisions just don't look good? Is that where we're at, Braydon?
I think it's interesting with, we were going to find out how this worked at some point, especially the fact that it hit so many players. To see, JT Miller came out last week saying, we're not ready. We still feel ill, and the NHL was, kind enough to say, okay, let's cancel one more game, and you can have a shot at maybe playing a game on the weekend, which they did tonight. So I think the thing for me that's interesting is going to be to find out whether or not this really impacted them in the long term. You see NBA players who are coming back from COVID, and they're still not right, and so physically, and maybe mentally, there's just going to be a lot of things that we see happen here. Whether or not the NHL did anything that was right, I think, they listened to their players. They made it a business decision to continue. I think it was a business decision mainly, but also for the fans. They want to make sure that, that the fans have an opportunity here to see the Canucks. I don't think that they would have gotten on the ice had they not felt like the players were ready to go. Unfortunately, they won tonight.
Yeah. from someone again who isn't necessarily following the season game in and game out, Dad, what were your perspectives from the outside of at this story?
Well, it is interesting because I was thinking about this in preparation, and I don't know if you guys have heard this quote by Nick Kypreos, but I found it interesting. He was quoted as saying, "Players are not playing because they want to; they're playing because they have to," and that was sort of in the context of a conversation about. And I think it applies here. Is this about the Canucks, or is this about the NHL, or is this about pro sports during a global pandemic? You know, and that got me thinking. You yourself said I've been at this a long time, not so long as the beginning of pro sports. But when we think about pro sports when they first emerged, I think they were really about bringing up a leisurely pastime to a society where the players were kind of regular citizens with exceptional talent. But the relationship between the fan base and the teams was really about community support and pride, and a sense of relatability. But I don't think it was ever about dollars. And you know, in the last 50 years, we have evolved into a place where it is such a profit-driven commodity that in this moment, I think it's revealing itself to be asking some really uncomfortable questions, you know, at a time when people are struggling to access such basic needs as appropriate medical services, or you know, paid sick leave, to see the players who are no longer really relatable in a circumstance where they have access to all kinds of medical services, not because they're doing anything wrong, they're just doing their jobs. And you know, personally, I'm kind of pleased, but I'm honestly a bit surprised that we haven't heard that pro sport bubbles, you know, are jumping the queue for vaccines. I mean, if it ever got to
already
that.
have.
Well, then there was definitely conversations about that. I don't know if you remember, but last summer there was definitely a leaked plan or a leaked proposal that was, asked. The NHL was certainly trying to arrange for that to happen, and obviously that wasn't a great PR look. But I think you're right, Dad. I think that it's kind of, for me, it's just another example of how we're starting to see more and more, and part of it's social media and the way that players, I think, in a lot of professional sports are being empowered to have their own personal platform in a way that a decade ago we would just not see. You know, everything was channeled through the PR of the organization, and they had a much sort of tighter clamp on muzzling players' maybe personal opinions on things for the protection of the brand. And we still see that obviously in different sports. I mean, Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job, but players and people around the game, this is what we talked about with the NCAA tournament and the women's tournament, recognizing the inequities between those two, tweeting photos of the weight rooms, things like that. That wouldn't have happened a decade ago. The players here for the Canucks have been vocal. Some of them, like Braydon mentioned, JT Miller. We're hearing players say we didn't feel safe, or we're not ready, or maybe this isn't the right way to do it. But what it also is doing, I think, is illuminating the dirty little secret we all know, which is exactly what you said. This is a business. At the end of the day, the reality of, you know, what the messaging from the league is, in contrast to the reality that's under the surface, is very different. The league says, well, this is about the integrity of the game. This is about making sure every team gets the same equal chance to succeed and make the playoffs, because, you know, the most important thing for us is that every player, team, and coach, you know, feels like they were given a fair shot. No, the truth is there are sponsorship dollars on the line. There is huge amounts of equity put into these athletes and the success, therefore, of any of these teams and all of those things. The business comes first. We just don't like to admit that that's the truth. And I think this, unfortunately, has been one of those situations where, you know, maybe that the veneer of that has come away a little bit. Anyway, obviously, as we said last week, it's an evolving situation, so we'll see what happens next.
And then, like an emotional win there.
Certainly good for them. I'm sure that it meant a lot. I know Travis Green in his press conference post game was very emotional about saying, you know, this means a lot. This was more than just a hockey win for us. It was about proving that, you know, and I'm sure that team will be bonded in a way no other team has been this season,
Yeah.
because unlike some of the teams where a couple players had it and were sort of removed from the team bubble, this entire team bubble was burst.
Again, it will be interesting for us to consider this question beyond the specifics of one team or one league. You know, I don't know about you guys, but every time I hear a news report about the Olympics are going ahead just as, I keep thinking, how is that reading? What are we, again, there's a huge ownership or a huge financial bleeding happening there, and media partners that are looking to protect their financial interests. Is this best?
Yeah, money makes the world go round. Let's leave it there for now. That's topic 1.
Hey, topic 2 this week is brought to us by Roma Pizza and Donair. Look, we all know the best thing about Edmonton is the many Donair options. And I know, if you're like me, that it can be overwhelming and stressful trying to hunt down the best. Well, my friends, we have found it, and it's time you did too. Right in my own neighborhood, Roma Pizza and Donair in Westbrook, Aspen Gardens is Edmonton's best kept secret. You know, there's nothing quite like piping hot meat getting shaved and served with a generous ratio of sweet sauce. And look, I know someone out there is saying, yeah, no, that's not really my thing. Well, hold your horses, because there is more. Roma Pizza and Donair not only serves Edmonton's best donair, but they also offer Roma pizzas, dinner platters, chicken wings, chicken fingers, chicken nuggets, chicken tawook. You say chicken and they got it. Salad, subs, burgers, baklava, coconut cake, and with summer right around the snow-covered corner, they also have summer specials. Deep fried pickles and deep fried Oreos. I'll just give you a minute to get back up on your seat. But hey, don't take my word for it. You know, sometimes tasting is believing. So to order, call them at 780-944-9696. That's 780-944-9696. They are open every day except Sunday from 11 to 11 and open till midnight Friday and Saturday. You can also follow them on Instagram at Roma Pizza Donair. Okay, on to topic 2.
Okay, topic 2 and 3, for that matter, are going to be a little bit less serious and a little bit more fun, because obviously, why not? It should be fun. So here we go. Topic 2, we are going to play a game we have played only once before. And it went quite well, actually. I thought it was a fun game. Both of the participants at the time, Elliot was with us that time, enjoyed it. I have no idea how this is going to go with someone who doesn't have cable and doesn't watch things. But this is the second running of my favorite game, Who Said What? Okay, so Dad, do you remember this game? Did you hear this the first time we did it?
Give me and all of the new listeners a quick rundown.
All right.
Well,
so the premise, the way this game works is I will play you 3 sound bites. There might be clips from press conferences, post game, mid-game interviews. Sometimes they're even like moment of commentary, and then you have an opportunity to first guess who said it, and or for perhaps bonus points, or if you just can't guess who it is, give me the context, and then we'll talk just very briefly about what that context was. Most of these ones are just kind of silly and fun this week. All right. But they may be tricky for someone who is not as.
And if you hear anyone say "big boot," it's Yessi Puliarvi.
Okay.
Yes, that one's the one that stumped Braydon last time. And Braydon, we'll start with you this week. We'll give Dad a moment to figure out how the game is played, and then we'll let you do it this time. Okay, you ready?
Sounds good.
I'm so ready.
All right. This is Braydon's first sound clip. Braydon, who said this?
Him? Are you an A-Rod fan at all growing up or anything like that? What do you think about what he might bring to the team?
A fan? Who is he?
A baseball player? Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay.
I know he's going to be the owner, but I don't know nothing about baseball.
Who's that, Braydon?
That's none other than the 2020 first-round pick, first overall, Anthony Edwards, the Minnesota Timberwolves. This guy's hilarious. I don't know if you've seen other footage of this guy, but in his pressers, it's like, and this makes sense. Okay, so here's the context. He was talking about Alex Rodriguez, who's the new owner of the Timberwolves basketball team, and it's like he just fades off. It's like he's not even there in these press conferences. There's some where he's like eating Popeye's chicken, and he's talking about this and he's talking about that, nothing to do with basketball. But I gotta say, in this clip here, he's lying here if he doesn't know who A-Rod is, because he was like a star baseball prospect in like college. So the fact that he doesn't know who A-Rod is, I think this question just caught him off guard. He wasn't in the moment.
Dad, do you know who Alex Rodriguez is?
I do know who A-Rod is. What I'm intrigued about by this whole conversation is that perhaps the basketball player wasn't actually thinking about basketball or baseball at all. He was thinking about another pro sports, because I'm kind of curious as to if he was thinking, what sport will I buy a team in that I'd never played as a player? You see, and I wonder if A-Rod is the only pro sports owner of a team from another pro league, and I suspect that's not
LeBron
true.
James just bought the Boston Red Sox.
Wow. Okay. Everybody calm down. A-Rod does not own the Minnesota Timberwolves, and LeBron James does not own the Boston Red Sox. This is the new world where you have ownership groups. You know, we all know about that in Edmonton. We had ownership groups. We just didn't have any professional athletes on the ownership group. It was just a bunch of community people who went together to save a team. These are all huge multi-billion-dollar teams that are now selling off shares, basically. Okay, that's yours. Dad, let's do your first one, and we'll see how this goes. Are you ready?
Great. I am so ready.
Back in, it's losing by 1. How did you feel about it?
It doesn't matter. We had some real dopey players in the first period, so it cost us the hockey game.
So it was that start that was the problem?
Yeah, the start of some of our players, as I said, we had some dopey players that didn't wake up till we were down a goal, which is unfortunate.
Any idea who that is? Dopey players. That dulcet tones of Southern Alberta.
Well, that sounds like that must be a Sutter, but I think you gave me a hint there. Yeah, I knew it must have been a coach, because
Daryl.
Yeah, there we go. So it's Daryl Sutter. I'm not sure what the game was, and I'm sure he wasn't talking about a player on the Jets or the Canucks. He was talking about the dopey Flames who were extinguished.
That's
well,
right.
Actually,
no. So after taking over a couple weeks ago, as we talked about on the show with the Flames, it hasn't necessarily been a sudden turnaround in Calgary. They continue to struggle, and I think we can see that the new head guy behind the bench doesn't feel like he's getting everything out of his players. Yeah, he really has had some very uplifting and energetic press conferences, and that was another one there. So good job, 1 for 1. It's a great start. You're out of the gates hot. It's like Seabiscuit around the first turn, and we'll see how we get down the final stretch here. Braydon, number 2 for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here it is.
Been a little bit of bad luck, maybe a few bad bounces that have allowed them to get on the board?
Yeah, sure. It's just frustrating. We want to go out there and get back in this game.
What's the mindset now heading into the third?
Go score 5 goals.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right. Any idea who that is?
Oh man. Well, they said goals, and then they said half. Bad bounces, and Ryan.
Wow, you're like Hercule Poirot.
Yeah, I've got all the information I need and none of the context. I'm baffled, but I should know what's happening. I don't know. Can you play it again?
No, that's not how the game's played.
Well,
sure, I'll play it again. Why not? Here it is.
Can you pass? Like Price is Right?
No.
A little bit of bad luck, maybe a few bad bounces that have allowed them to get on the board?
Yeah, sure. It's just frustrating. We want to go out there and get back in this game.
What's the mindset now heading into the third?
Go score 5 goals.
Into the third. Go score 5 goals, which means it was a team that got blown up. But it sounds like Patty Maroon. That would be for some reason, that's my guess. I don't know who Ryan is. You gotta tell me, Dad, who is it? Dad.
Wow, the only Brian I know is Brian.
Brian?
It's not Brian. I don't think it's Brian. Was it Brian?
Braydon, you just guessed Patrick Maroon.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Oh, I thought he was talking about another guy.
No, that's
his name's Ryan.
The
Ryan
reporter
Suter.
says, thank you, Ryan. Now you're just gonna go through every Ryan. I'm taking you out of your misery.
Oh man.
Ryan Johansson, the Nashville Predators down 5-0 going into the third period. And feeling a little bit like the questions that were pre-baked and pre-ready to go prior to the period had nothing to do with how bad the team was playing, and felt very frustrated by it. It's just another example of these very awkward interviews we're getting nowadays when you don't have reporters standing next to the players. They get the headset on by the bench. They can't see the reporter. The reporter comes in their ear and they're sort of standing there alone going, what the heck is this question?
Well,
we played the Draisaitl one a couple
with,
weeks ago.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing with that Anthony Edwards one, where like they're not in the room, right? He's sitting talking to a camera and he's going, wait, what did you say?
Absolutely. All right, here's another one. This will be Dad's second one. So Braydon, you're one for two. All right. You ready, Dad?
All right.
I am, but wasn't Anthony Edwards an actor on ER?
And then he became a basketball player for the Timberwolves.
Okay.
He's in his rookie year.
He grew. Got it.
Okay.
And got a lot younger.
It's a Benjamin Button experience.
All right, here we go.
I'm ready. I'm set.
I know you are. Here it comes. Here's your second. Yeah, don't worry about that.
I guess you missed a lot of the games that Reyes hit in the clutch last year, huh?
No.
Oh, yeah. You're an idiot. You're an idiot and you don't know baseball.
I'm not an idiot.
No, you are an idiot. Listen, you're going to tell me you are judging. You don't know anything. You don't know squat, you stupid idiot. You're going to tell me you're going to make a judgment on the season after one game in 30-degree weather? That proves what an ignoramus you are. Get off our show.
Wow. Well, I don't know, and I think I feel like you set this one up for me to know. I thought we were heading into who's on first.
Yeah, sounds like Tom Hanks in League of Our Own.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is Tom Hanks in League of Our Own. But I mean, if it is, and he was speaking to the women, I mean, he's got some explaining to do. I got nothing.
It sounds like it's a football coach. Was it a football coach? I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect you to get that one. I just really wanted to play the sound clip, to be honest.
Man, that was amazing.
All right.
What was that?
It's a clip from a show called Drainin' Live. It's a Cleveland talk radio call-in show following Cleveland baseball games. And one game into the season, he had one of those fans who just had something to say. And host Bruce Drennan went off, lost his mind, and a day later lost his show.
Goodness.
That's what we're missing on our show. Oh, never mind. Doesn't work out well, eh? Yay.
So that's that. All right. We'll go to Braydon's last one, and then we'll do one more. We're way over time here, so we'll pick it up here. All right, Braydon, this is your last one. You ready?
Yeah, come back to.
That is P4. Well done. Great job. All right, next job. Were the fireworks for me? They can be.
Who's that, Braydon?
Hurrah. That's none other than our buddy Lando Norris. You can find him on Twitch. You can find us talking about him on the Pit Stop podcast. We've got coming out a new one next week. He finished very well today at Imola. Very excited about that and about
he made the podium, P3. Yeah. But that clip, when was that clip from? And what was the context?
I think that was his, wasn't that? Well, interesting. It must have been the last race. So I think that was at, I don't even remember where they were now.
Bahrain. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
he finished P4. The fireworks went off
for Lewis, and he looked in his mirror and said, he was asking his team were those fireworks for me. This guy's awesome. He's got.
But you did a great job getting that plug in there. So well done. Yes, the Pit Stop podcast, new episode.
I can't wait
just
to
went
be
off.
Talking about that.
And race weekend was this week. Okay, here's your last one, Dad. You ready?
I am so ready.
Good. Here it comes.
Come on, kid, do it. He did it! He got the 710, Randy! He did it! Woo-hoo! Lock
goodness, the ginger assassin just dropped the 710. You bet, kid. You bet. Oh, man. Give me some oxygen and water to spare the game. Brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will. I believe the ginger assassin can drop the 710.
What?
Any idea?
No, but trusting in Braydon, I'm going to go with the ginger assassin. That was none other than Lando Norris, who's featured on the kids' next pit stop next week. He finished well at Imola, and he saw the
he's not ginger.
Fireworks behind him, and he said, "Are those for me?" And that's pretty much as well as I can go. 7-11 though. 7-11.
No,
maybe it was Randy Furby.
So I don't know if you caught it. It's funny. We had a little serendipitous moment there. So I complimented Braydon a moment ago for getting the plug in. I don't know if you caught in that clip that this commentator managed to not only through his exuberance about one of only like 4 710s ever hit on television, managed to get the ad in, and he mentioned the sponsor of the spare of the game. There's your hint. Any guess now what sport we were watching? Spare of the game.
A spare of, oh gosh.
You got this, Dad. You've got this.
Do I?
Back to those.
Think of it. It's
late
it's
80s nights.
It's a game played by average Canadians and Americans all across the country.
Very retro.
You don't need any professional training. You don't even really need to stretch to do it. Little old ladies sometimes do it on a Sunday afternoon in a club. Okay, maybe not that kind of Sunday.
You should have started with the shirts.
It involves pins.
Oh, bowling.
Yeah.
It was a bowl. That was bowling. Yeah.
That was bowling.
Ginger assassin.
Anthony Newer did something last week that has only been accomplished 4 times on live television. The 710. So the 710 is all of the middle pins are gone, just the 2 pins at the very back. So you've got to knock 1 pin at the angle that knocks it across the frame and knocks the other one out. He managed to do this live on television, and the announcer for Fox Sports, Rob Stone, lost his mind. That's what you heard there. It became the #1 trending video on sports Instagram and Twitter last week. And the best part was it had been placed to counter the Masters, and I'm sure there was no call at the Masters that exuberant. You can only imagine that bowling probably used to sound more like golf. But anyway, that has been this week's very slow but very enjoyable edition of Who Said What? Thank you both for participating. And Braydon, you're going to take it by a 1-point lead there, 2-1. And we'll leave topic 2 there. Are you feeling hungry? Busy Bee Vegan is a plant-based meal prep service offering pre-made, delicious, and healthy plant-based meals to the Greater Toronto Area. Whether you're curious about plant-based vegan eating, looking to improve your overall health and wellness, or simply too busy to cook, Busy Bee is for you. Their plans are focused on eating clean without sacrificing taste and contributing to a healthy planet. They have made it super simple. Choose and order your meals from the multiple plans they offer, and they will deliver your meals in environmentally friendly compostable containers right to your door. You can find them on Instagram at Busy Bee Vegan Meals or on Facebook at Busy Bee Vegan. Go check out a small local business in Toronto and save the hassle of COVID grocery shopping and cooking. Let the Busy Bees feed you buzz-worthy meals. Okay, topic 3 this week is the old classic, the original game we like to play. It's the best way to cap it off. And just as a special way, before I do anything, I would like to take my hat off to our dad for being such a good sport and coming on the show this week. But let's do hats off. So I will throw to you first. You are the honored guest. Who are you tipping your cap to this week, Dad?
Awesome. I am so thrilled to be able to be here with you guys. And I tossed this hat off and sent it out to you. I had no idea that I would actually be able to announce it. But on Thursday in a game at Pittsburgh, the 15-minute mark of the second period with the score tied at zip, Penguins defenseman Brian Dumoulin lost a stick in his own zone. Captain Crosby tossed him his own. Dumoulin cleared the zone, and in an offensive rush, Crosby took a quick detour to the bench, where equipment manager John Taglianetti had assessed the situation and was tossing him a stick that he had been able to pull just in time. I mean, it looks like it was rehearsed. It's remarkable. Moments later, Chris Letang shovels the puck to Crosby, who knocks it home. And if you watch the replay, Crosby's arms go up in the shortest celebration of a goal ever before he turns and points to the bench, where Taglianetti is surrounded by players, even during this COVID bubble. And the beautiful thing was that the public service announcer for the arena honored him with a third unofficial assist in the announcement that followed. I think I've got a clip right here.
Sidney Crosby slams it home. The Penguins with a 1-0 lead. Look at the bench. The bench is going crazy because Crosby had to go get a stick off the bench. It was an incredible handoff. What a relay by the Penguins trainers. Who gave his stick up to Dumo, who had broken his stick.
So just like they say in the theater, there are no small roles. My hat goes off to John Taglianetti.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome to see how they all like jumped on the guy in the bench, and that was the celebration for that goal. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's a good one, Dad. That was great. My hat goes off this week to the oldest player currently in the NHL, Patrick Marleau. He is now one game away from being the all-time games played leader in the NHL. He is tied with Gordie Howe after his game on Saturday night. On Monday night, tonight, he will play the Vegas Golden Knights, and he will become the leader, the single record holder for most games played. He also has played 34% of every NHL player to have ever played in the league.
Wow.
Over a quarter of every NHL player all time has played against Patrick Marleau. My hat goes off to you.
I was just going to say, and this is to take nothing away from Patrick Marleau's incredible accomplishment, but knowing that professional athletes like the best of us need motivation. He's just got 419 more games if you add in Gordie Howe's WHL stats.
Whoa, there you
Gordie
go.
played a long time.
It's unbelievable, really, right? When you think that he played as many he played 25% of his whole career after his first.
Yeah, like how old was Mark Howe when he played with them? It's like he was he was almost ready to retire by the time Gordie was.
Well, and to be fair, and I don't have the statistics in front of me, but the guy who's currently on the NHL's list at 4 would probably now at 4, used to be 3, is probably ahead of him if you include all of his professional hockey, because Jaromir Jagr is still playing hockey in the Czech Republic. He's just not doing so in the NHL. But you're right. I think it's still, it's an unbelievable statistic. And I think what's crazy is that equally crazy is that statistic about how many players he's played. Gordie would never have been able to compete with that because he played most of his career with 6 teams.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly.
It's like 100 players. So anyway,
that's amazing. It'd be sweet to see a hockey player with like stark gray hair. I mean, Alex Ovechkin's getting there.
Joe Thornton's getting there.
You know, I remember seeing the Houston Aeros come in and Mark Howe and his dad play at the, I guess it was probably the Coliseum. And God, I don't even know who else. I guess they were playing the Oil Kings probably. Is that possible? Is that who was in the WHL then?
Well, the Oilers would have been.
The Oilers, the WHA.
The WHA version of the Oilers would have been. When was this?
Got it. This was before the Oilers moved into the NHL.
So like late 70s.
Yeah.
Was Gretzky there yet?
Yeah, I guess late 70s. No, Gretzky was, to my memory, Gretzky wasn't there yet.
It's the Al Hamilton WHA team.
Yeah. But, you know, it's interesting because even if Gretzky was there, I wouldn't have been going to see Gretzky. I would have been going to see Gordie Howe.
Of course.
That's just the generation.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my hat's off is going to Anthony Mantha. He just got traded from the Detroit Red Wings to the Washington Capitals. He's got a goal in the last 4 games with his new club. He is he is going to be a great fit for this Washington Capitals team moving forward. And fortunately, he's helping my fantasy league this week. So hats off to you, Anthony Manfa.
Did you also take Taylor Hall this week, considering the fact that he had 2 goals all season for Buffalo, and so far with his new team in Boston, he has already matched that and has 2 goals in 2 games?
No. Taylor, it's funny, in our league, Taylor Hall got traded for Pierre-Luc Dubois right around the time Dubois got traded, got traded, and the poor suck who's got Taylor Hall just kind of was left with him, and I think right now he's all in it. He's getting very excited about the prospect of Taylor Hall with Boston Bruins.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just want to say thank you, Dad. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad that you were able to join us. I'm glad that you put up with the games and had some fun. You had some great insight. I'm sorry that I have spoiled the opportunity for you to watch live sports by saving you a few bucks without a cable subscription. I take full responsibility for that. But
not to worry.
As long as you tune in every Monday, we'll keep you up to date here on Hat Trick.
Who needs cable when you've got Hat Trick Sports?
Exactly. And on top of that, when you are off doing night calls, Jord, I just add things to your Prime Video subscription by checking in with your wife. So all is good.
All right. Well, thank you both.
Calls.
It was a lot of fun, and thanks to everybody for listening. We'll be back with you next week. That's Hat Trick. Hat Trick is a member of the Ordinary Podcasting Network. It's produced every week by Jordan Dowler-Coltman and Braydon Dowler-Coltman. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for listening.
That's Hat Trick.
That's Hat Trick. Don't I get to say the meat script?
That's
like to? I have it.
I just think your mom would find it so funny.
Let's do it.